Today we are looking at more bizarre and scary looking sea creatures that are so weird they look like they came from a different universe. From weird sea blobs to mutated jellyfish. Let's talk about this and more only in today's video. Starting off this countdown, we have the Snipe Eel. Now I really don't understand how this is a real creature because it looks fake. The Snipe Eel is like a mix between a hummingbird with a tapeworm, which is a very interesting mix. It's unlike any creature I have ever seen before. Plus, this thing can grow as long as 4 feet. Imagine that, you're swimming in the ocean, all of a sudden you feel something tickling your feet, and it's this thing. No thank you. To make things creepier, this dude has its digestive system in its throat, and it has 750 vertebrae in its spine. That's way more than any other known organism. See how I said known organism? Because if this thing is real, then what else is out there in the ocean? In our 9th spot, we have the Vampire Squid. You know this thing is creepy already when its scientific name literally translates to the vampire squid from hell. Isn't that nice? Now what's weird is that this creature resembles both a squid and an octopus, but it's neither. This thing has 8 arms and 2 tentacles. Its arms are lined with spines that are arranged in 2 rows. What's also unique about this creature is its color, which can change depending where in the ocean they are. They also have the largest eyes in the entire animal kingdom, which is wild in comparison to the size of its body, and the eyes either look red or blue depending on the light. And lastly, these guys travel around by ejecting water from a hidden organ. That's kinda cool, you know, it's got its own propeller system. In our 8th spot today we have the Giant Grenadier. Now this is a weird mix between a fish and an eel. It's got a fish's head, but like a long eel-like body. Although it looks pretty creepy, these things don't bite or sting. Now what's weird though is that they stink. These fish contain high levels of TMA, which is found in human urine, sweat, and in bad breath. And it's safe to say that no one likes the smell of any of that. But this thing reeks even more. It's like you combined pee, sweat, and BO all together. That's what this creature smells like. PU, no thank you. In our 7th spot we have the Sarcastic Fringehead. And don't be fooled by this guy's name, okay? It's not a fish with a bad or sassy attitude. That would be funny. But I will say these fish are highly aggressive. They are located in the Pacific waters off the coast of North America. Now what makes them so terrifying are their Demogorgon type flaps around their face that just open up to make them look intimidating. Either that or it kinda looks like the poison spitting dinosaur from Jurassic Park. Like if you agree. So what they like to do is hide out, and when their prey comes swimming by, they'll launch out and attack them. And they aren't picky. They will go after any and everything. In fact, there's one video of a fringehead swallowing a whole damn octopus. Yes, you heard me, an octopus. They have also been known to attack divers as well. So not only are their habits terrifying, but they also just look terrifying too. In our 6th spot we have the Fanfin anglerfish. Now anglerfish are undeniably creepy. In fact, they are considered one of the scariest sea creatures on earth. Take a look at a picture of them and you'll see why. Now there are different types of anglerfish. Today let's talk about the Fanfin anglerfish. This thing has a massive jaw with tons of sharp teeth. Their mouth is so wide it extends all over the entire circumference of their head. These creatures are also covered in what looks like hair all over their body, but those are used to sense what is around them. Now if you watched Finding Nemo, then you already know about this guy, okay? It's when Marlin and Dory just keep swimming, and then it gets darker, and then they see this thing glowing in the distance. Turns out it was part of the anglerfish, remember that scene? That's this fish. Now they use this light or lure to attract fish, and then once they're near, they can scoop them up. What's wild is that they can swallow fish that are almost twice their size. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the Deep Sea lizardfish. I'm telling you, these creatures just keep getting weirder and weirder. Now these things can be found at the depths of the ocean at 1,000 to 2,500 meters down. They're about 25 inches long and are a shiny blue color. Now these things like to wait on the ocean floor until their dinner comes by, and when it's time, they open their jaws and snap out at them. In fact, lizardfish has hinged teeth, which means the more and more the prey resists and tries to escape, the further they'll just move down its throat. These things eat everything from coral to worms to fish to crustaceans. Some have been known to eat other members of their own species, so they have cannibal-like tendencies. In our fourth spot, we have the tardigrade. Now this has to be one of the strangest creatures on the entire planet, and I'm not even kidding when I say that. So tardigrades, otherwise known as water bears or moss piglets, are these plump-looking creatures with 8 legs and hands with 48 claws on each. They live off of nutrients from plants and microorganisms. When they are feeding, their sharp teeth extend outwards, allowing them to suck out the nutrients. Now, here's why they're super weird. These things are almost indestructible. Not only can they survive in the ocean, but they can even survive in outer space. If an apocalypse happened, they would still be floating around in the ocean. One of the reasons why is that they can go up to 30 years without food or water, and they can survive in both absolute zero or above boiling temperatures. That is just wild to me. Like, they don't seem like real creatures. In our third spot, we have the Deep Sea Blob. Again, how is this thing real? It's like a slab of slime with a human face on it. I kid you not, I have met people that look like that. So the sea blob can be found at around 2,800 meters down along the US West Coast. They are pinkish in color and can grow to be about 12 inches long. Now what's weird is that they lack bones and teeth. I mean, that's why they're called a blob. And since they have low muscle mass, they don't actually move around much. So they just float along, and when they see food, they open their mouths and suck the food in, kinda like Kirby. Now, here is the most interesting part. Take a blobfish out of water and, you know, it looks pretty creepy. While it's thought that when it's in water, it takes on a different appearance. But when out of water, they look weird because they don't have the water pressure to hold their shape. Moving on to number 2, we have the flying spaghetti monster. Now, the creature's real name is Bathyphysma conifer, which is a mouthful and I probably pronounced it wrong, so people like to just call it the flying spaghetti monster due to its appearance. The thing appears to have noodly type tentacles. This thing was first spotted off the coast of Angola in 2015 by workers at BP. They were taking footage underwater when they managed to capture this thing on film. Immediately, they called it the flying spaghetti monster as it reminded them of the deity of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. But apparently it's not just a singular organism, but a bunch of them fused together. It's a really strange creature. And in our number 1 spot today, we have the Supergiant Shrimp. In 2011, a group of scientists were exploring the Kermadec Trench off the northeast coast of New Zealand when they came across this giant shrimp known as the supergiant. That same year, 6 other giant shrimp were found. The largest one was 34 centimeters, or 13 inches. Excuse me? No, shrimp are tiny. These things must have come from a universe where big creatures are small and small creatures are big, like in the movie Journey to the Center of the Earth 2. To this date, one of the biggest shrimp ever caught was 18 inches, which is 45 centimeters, which is massive. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which one of these sea creatures creeped you out the most. Also, let us know if you want to see part 3. And now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video Top 10 Unsettling Laws in History the Government Has Created. Carlo Lombardi commented, apparently whaling is illegal here in Oklahoma City. Wailing as in like, oh, like screaming. Wailing. I'm just gonna zip my lip and assume that they mean screaming. Jocko Van Demer commented, LOL, she's like my best friend telling scary stories and stuff. Sure, I'll be your best friend, hit me up, I'm all your friends. And Georgia Ann commented, look up about Mary the elephant who was hung by a crane due to killing a man. See, that's just wrong. Like, the elephant didn't know what it was doing, you know? I don't think it viciously went after this man and was just like, oh, I don't like you, stomp, stomp. So that's kind of wrong. It's scary. Alright guys, that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see ya when I see ya. Bye.